FightSaga.com and Halftime Pizza proudly present W.A.W Radio chats with ring announcer and commentator Joseph Herron.
Hello, guys. Welcome. Happy Saturday to all of you. And guys, I hope all of you are having a wonderful weekend thus far. I know I am, despite it being 103 degrees right now in San Antonio, Texas. I tell you what, I'm really looking forward to it. Now, once again, this is going to be a very short segment, an hour at the latest, maybe, depending on how many comments and how many questions and how fired up I get, obviously. That always determines everything, doesn't it? Anyway, guys, I'm in a great mood today. And I've been in a really foul mood this entire week because of, obviously, those of you who listened to my Tuesday night show when Ronnie wasn't here, I was on with my brother James from the Boxing Source. And obviously, everyone knows who listened to that because of everything that my honey, Margie Garcia, has been going through. God bless you, baby. We love you. With her father. And so, yeah, it put me in a very foul mood for the obvious reasons. And so I didn't want to come on and talk about any of this because I knew it was going to turn into very quickly piss and vinegar. And it still might, actually, because, guys, there has been a ton, not just a little bit, a ton of ignorance surrounding this entire Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou. And let's just face it, guys. This is not a fight that we asked to see. This is a foregone conclusion. This is not even going to be a challenge for Tyson Fury. But I'm hearing all kinds of crap from not only guys, fans, but people in the industry who should know better. And it almost seems like it's a product of, oh, hold on, let me turn this on real quick. Forgot my banner. And there it is. It's almost like it's herd mentality at this point. Let's pile on, guys. Let's just pile on and take some more digs at Tyson Fury. Some are warranted, most of them aren't. And I'll explain everything. And once again, I've just been sitting back until I was in a better mood to talk about all of this. Because the last thing I want to do is just jump on here and just be in a foul mood and just torch everything. And, well, let's just face it. I start cussing like James Gogi when I do. Yeah, and I don't like to do that. Guys, before we move forward, let's say hello to my brother, Jesus M. Saludos to you, my brother. Thank you for joining me on this beautiful Saturday. And he says, how much is the pay-per-view? Let's just be honest, brother. Who cares? Who cares? Are you going to buy it? No, I'm not going to. And once again, we are not the target market for this. No real fight fans are. No real boxing diehards are. This is predominantly for the mainstream and casual fight audience that are intrigued with this entire MMA versus boxing thing, right? That's not us, right? So I'm guessing, yeah, it's going to be around $75, $80 in America. In the UK, it's probably going to be about $20, $19.95, something like that, right? My brother Sid, welcome to the show, sir. Thank you for joining me on this beautiful Saturday. Tell you what, I'm really looking forward. Now I want to cut this. I don't want to go past an hour because I don't want to miss Coach Ronnie's welterweight, 6'1" welterweight. He's fighting Quinton Randall out of Houston, Texas. And his name is Willie Jones. He's 6'2" welterweight or 6'1" welterweight, right? I don't see how this kid still makes 147 pounds. In his last fight, well, they thought because he's got a 9-2 record, and this is a huge problem in boxing, right? He's 9-2. So once again, what do I always say? It's something that Emmanuel taught me a long time ago. Joseph, resumes, records, and trinkets are for fight fans, boxing writers, and network executives who really don't understand what they're looking at in the ring. And he's absolutely right. And so people look at Willie Jones' 9-2 record, even though he has a decent amateur background. He's got a big victory in the amateurs over Regis Prograis, current 140-pound WBC champion. They look at this and they go, well, what's wrong with him? Ronnie's told me that that's actually happened before. Hey, I've got this guy, Willie Jones. Well, what's wrong with him? yeah, he could be a good opponent for this undefeated prospect. And Ronnie's like, Willie doesn't have a mindset of an opponent, and you're going to see that. In his last fight, in fact, they put him in the Armory in Minneapolis against an undefeated prospect in that area. And Willie Jones sparked him in one round. And Ronnie was like, yeah, man, he fell for the first trap that we set for him. There's levels to this game, guys. And just because you have a loss or two at the world-class level doesn't mean that you're doesn't mean that you're fodder. Doesn't mean that you can't fight. And so I'm really looking forward to, once again, seeing Willie Jones fight against another prospect. I'm really looking forward to it. So I'm going to try to finish this up within the hour. Also want to give a big shout out to my brother, Pounds. How you doing, my friend? Happy Saturday to you, brother. But I will say this, guys. Going back to the primary topic, right? Excuse me. I'm sick to death of reading all of this nonsense. And once again, I say this to all of you all the time. Somewhere along the way, fight fans, boxing diehards, everyone within this industry even, have convinced themselves that it's a more intelligent or insightful way of looking at something that has to do with our sport by shitting all over it. Well, far from it. Quite the contrary, actually. It means you really haven't thought this through or don't know a damn thing about this business. And I'm going to break down everything. Everyone seems to have a real hard-on that Tyson Fury, once again, he's made it abundantly clear that he's going to be facing Alexander Usyk in January. Frank Warren, George Warren, everyone involved, Bob Arum. They have told everyone, look, yeah, we're going to fight Alexander Usyk for the undisputed. That is, if Alexander Usyk, well, can get past Daniel Dubois, probability states that he will. He's too good. He's too good, even at his age. He's too damn good. We need to see this fight, guys. We need to see Alexander Usyk versus Tyson Fury, the two baddest dudes on the planet. Make no mistake about it. If you're not a Tyson Fury fan, that's well within your right. And once again, it makes the sport better if you have opposing fan bases. It just makes it that much more entertaining and exciting. Look at college football, NCAA in America. Those long-standing rivalries. Oh, gosh, I love College Game Day. Look at the NFL. Look at the MLB. Every time the Yankees play the Red Sox, it's a huge undertaking, and the fans always get up for it. This is great. But understand, that's where it ends, right? That's where it should end. It shouldn't go any further than that. Even if you're a diehard fan and cannot stand, right, Tyson Fury, understand he is the baddest dude on the planet. If you're a huge Tyson Fury fan and you can't stand any of the nonsense that's coming out of Alexander Usyk's mouth and his promoter, that doesn't deter from the fact, and it's not just opinion at this point, it's fact. He is the man, the lineal champion. He holds 3 of the titles, beating Anthony Joshua decisively twice. He is undefeated for a reason. He is an all-time great. He is a special talent, guys. He is a bad dude, and we need to see this fight happen. Everyone involved with the sport wants it. Okay? So here's problem number 1. Everyone. They seem to have a problem with everyone that Tyson Fury, oh, why is he facing this guy? He's an MMA fighter. He's got no chance of beating Tyson Fury. Well, yeah, no shit. Well, why isn't he fighting a fighter instead, a top 10 guy? Look, let me ask you this. If Alexander Usyk, if it weren't mandated to face Daniel Dubois, would he be doing this right now? Ask yourselves, guys, and if you're truthful, if you're honest with yourself, hell no, he would not be risking the biggest payday of his entire career, the biggest fight in boxing, bar none. Like, think about this. And this is what makes heavyweight boxing heavyweight boxing. There's boxing and then there's heavyweight boxing. At the elite level in heavyweight boxing, most of the time when you get someone like Crawford versus Spence, someone like that, very seldom is the fight going to end in a knockout. At the elite level, in any other weight division, most of the time when it's elite versus elite, very seldom does it end in a knockout. Seldom. It happens, but very seldom. But in the heavyweight division, yeah, you get knockouts all the time, including the elite level. And so once again, my hat's off to Alexander Usyk, but make no mistake about this, guys. He would not be facing Daniel Dubois unless he cared about keeping that WBA strap around his waist. Because if I were him, if I were his handlers, I would have just dumped the WBA title and said, yeah, here, have at it, fight someone else. Because I'm not risking my big payday. In the heavyweight division, anything can and often does happen. It is the true theater of the unexpected in boxing. Case in point, let's go back to 1993, right? In which, well, Tommy Morrison, the Duke, Tommy Morrison, he had lifted, or he had won the vacant WBA heavyweight title by beating George Foreman, gutting out a very tough but dominant performance against George Foreman, a 12-round decision, right? And he was in line to fight in a big-time, big-money fight with Lennox Lewis. So he wanted to stay sharp while waiting for Lennox Lewis. Okay, he had just beaten Tim Tomaszek, right? 2 months later after the George Foreman fight, just a tune-up. 45-fight veteran, but a guy with 10 losses. Knocked him out in 4 rounds. And to try and build this big Lennox Lewis fight and just to try and stay sharp, to come into this fight as sharp as he possibly could, he fought Michael Bent, who was 10-1 going into this fight in his hometown, Tulsa, Oklahoma. What happened? You guys remember? And this was 2 months after the Tim Tomaszek fight. He was in shape, razor sharp. He wanted to stay sharp. What happened? He got caught cold and got knocked out in the first round. And that went the big payday. There went the big payday. Ruined the Lennox Lewis fight. And once again, that fight didn't happen until sometime later. Right? He had to wait another 2 years for that. Right? Guys, this is the heavyweight division. Knockouts happen all the time. Getting into you, Andres. Thank you for joining us, brother. And, oh, thank you, brother, listening while watching Josh Kelly versus Corso. Good man, good man. Thank you for always supporting all of these events all over the world. You're a great fan, and it's a pleasure and it's an honor to have you here, sir. Guys, knockouts happen all the time. Right? So do you really think if he weren't interested in keeping this WBA fight, would they be going through with this fight with Daniel Dubois? Probably not. Once again, no one criticizes Errol Spence for sitting out all this time, waiting for Terrence Crawford over a year. Because once again, anything can and often does happen in the ring. It's the theater of the unexpected. You don't want to risk the biggest legacy fight of your career, the biggest money fight of your career. Welcome to the show, Jose. He says, salute, Joseph. Will you be at Gem's live stream when the fight happens? Brother, I will talk all about it tonight on Gem's channel, right? Postal Elvis Rodriguez. Yes, sir. I will be on Gems this evening. You can count on that. And I look forward to chopping it up with all my peeps over there. Guys, I'll be unboxing Gems tonight. Always a very, very insightful discussion with those gentlemen. And if you haven't already, guys, please go subscribe to Boxing Gems this as soon as the show is finished this evening. But yeah, join me over there. I'm going to talk about everything. Excuse me. But guys, yes. So let me ask you once again, does it make much sense then that all of these clowns are criticizing Tyson Fury? Well, you could have fought someone like anyone in the top 10. Who is the gentleman from Cuba, the southpaw, the guy everyone wanted him to fight? What's his name? His name is me now. And I'm forgotten because he never fights. He's a crafty Cuban southpaw who can punch. Frank Sanchez, thank you very much, Andreas. Appreciate it, brother. Frank Sanchez. Everyone, why isn't he fighting Frank Sanchez? For the same reason that no one else is. Because that guy is capable of beating anyone on any given night. And right now, because no one wants to fight him, poor guy, he's forced to fight in 8-round prelims on the undercard of other people's main events. Why would anyone want to take that guy on in the interim when you've got the biggest money fight waiting for you and the biggest legacy fight of your career in Alexander Usyk? Tell me, does that make any sense at all, guys? Now, I'm going to be waiting for you guys. Sid says, yeah, Frank Sanchez is born as hell. Well, most Cubans are. That's why Dave Morrell Jr. is such an anomaly. He doesn't fight like a Cuban national or Cuban exile, does he? Boy, he is all action. But yeah, Frank Sanchez is cut from the same cloth as Guillermo Rigondeaux from Erislandy Lara. He cut from that same cloth where he's going to wait. He's a counterpuncher by trade, and he's going to wait for you to move forward, take the lead, and to make a mistake. In the interim, boy, he stinks out the joint and doesn't do anything but move. And he waits for you to make a mistake, right? Very good point. Sid also says, Canelo has done his time and can pick who he wants at this point of his career. Yep. He kept boxing alive and a huge Mexican fan base interested. I get confused when he gets hated. Yeah. Look, guys, he's got nothing left to. He could retire tomorrow and say, you know, I don't really need these fights after all. He can retire tomorrow and go join the PGA Tour. And guess what? He's still a first ballot Hall of Famer and an all-time great and one of the greatest of this generation easily. Right? Very good point, Sid. I want to thank Itty Bitty on the show. Good to see you on here, brother. Nice early stream for me across the pond. Thank you for joining us, my friend. And yeah, I know why you're here, brother. You feel my pain with the ton of ignorance, right? And it's not just coming from boxing fans. It's surprisingly a lot of people in the business, including guys MMA, accusing. So once again, guys, I hope you all understand. And we're going to dispel all of this ignorance one by one, guys. And I just did the first one. Why isn't he fighting a top 10 guy like Filip Ergovic or Frank Sanchez? Well, why would you if you didn't have to? Once again, here's another one. Why isn't he being stripped? He deserves to be stripped. Fighting, that is insulting. Insulting to the lineage, insulting to all of the boxing fans. Once again, MMA or WBC, Mauricio Sulaiman. He's given Tyson Fury his grace. And why? Well, because Mauricio Sulaiman several months ago said, this is the title eliminator. The winner of this fight will become Tyson Fury's mandatory challenger. And that was Andy Ruiz and Deontay Wilder. Obviously, those guys can't come to terms. And this has been a mandated final eliminator for over half a year now. Both guys can't agree to terms. PBC tried making this fight half a year ago. But both men want too much damn money. And this is what happens when you pay fighters inflated purses. We are seeing this throughout the entire heavyweight division. Everyone is waiting for that life-changing Saudi Arabian money. And this is what happens. Fighters don't want to fight. When you give them inflated purses, it makes putting together the best matchups a virtual impossibility. And we've told you guys this for years since we started this channel 2.5 years ago. We've been telling you this ever since. It's Promotions 101. Do not pay out inflated purses because it never ends well for the good of the health of the sport. It never ends well, guys. Look at Keith Thurman. Look at all those PBC bitches who were paid inflated purses. Oh, brother, let me tell you something. My brother G Funky, he's a musician, and I had a lot of fun. And I tell you what, it was great spending time with you listening to music, my friend. Yeah, Maxine by Donald Fagen is a classic. And anyone who's not familiar with it, go check it out. He's a genius. He's a musical genius. And yes, brother, I had a lot of fun chopping it up with you, my friend. God bless you, brother. Anyone who hasn't already, please go subscribe to my brother G Funky Boxing. One of the sharpest knives in the boxing drawer on YouTube, guys, bar none. Thank you for joining me, my friend. But look, guys. So yeah, make no mistake about it, guys. If Usyk wasn't interested in holding on to this WBA mandated defense, okay, he wouldn't be going through and fighting Daniel Dubois. Make no mistake about it. Even though probability states, right, that he's going to have his way with this lumbering young heavyweight. Guys, and in fact, he may in fact stop him because of, once again, Daniel Dubois doesn't have the greatest chin in the world. He's not the most skilled. He's seemingly in over his head, but guys, he can still punch. And anything can and often does happen, right? In the heavyweight division, that is the heavyweight division. So I hope that dispels that ignorant rumor. Once again, no one should be throwing daggers at Tyson Fury for fighting Francis Ngannou and not fighting a top 10 guy for little to no money. Think about this. Why would you fight Frank Sanchez or Philip Ergovich when you've got the biggest money fight waiting for you in January in Saudi Arabia? And make no mistake about this, guys. It's not Tyson Fury. It's the Saudis. Look, I know Eddie Hearn has already stated, oh, well, it's on tap because Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua for December. No, it's not. And you're going to hear it. It's going to be pushed to January. And why? That venue isn't going to be ready until January. And there it is. Look, Andreas, I feel your pain, brother, and we all wanted this fight. Okay, we wanted it right after the Chisora fight, and everyone was planning on making that fight. Okay? Now, once again, make no mistake about this. The reason why this was moved from Saudi Arabia to Wembley is because the Saudis skills challenge. The prince stated, we're making a new facility for this grand event, and it's not going to be ready until the winter, the final quarter of 2023. So then they started negotiating for Wembley. And then all of a sudden, this slander campaign, greedy belly. Okay. And everyone just piled on, not understanding that Alexander Usyk, Team Usyk, were the ones who walked away from what I was told by George Warren. A done deal. It was almost a done deal. Who walks away from a done deal because of a damn rematch clause? Something that may just be a moot point. No one, unless they don't really want the fight. Usyk walked away from that. And why? Well, it's a very smart maneuver. Understanding that this fight is worth a whole lot more money if he just waits until it takes place in Saudi Arabia. So am I faulting Alexander Usyk for making that much wiser decision? No. Because let's see. I stand to make fighting the same guy. Okay, let's see. I could wait and just fight him in neutral territory for a lot more money. And if I fight him at Wembley, boy, that's going to be a hostile crowd. everyone's going to be overwhelmingly in attendance in favor of Tyson Fury for only $15 million, $17 million. I stand to make a lot more money in a much better environment if I just wait. So he walked away from it. Once again, he did the right thing. Make no mistake about it, though. This wasn't Tyson Fury, setting up roadblock in front of roadblock. Guys, there's nothing that separates Tyson Fury from the other big earners who are the obvious A-sides in negotiations. Canelo, Gervonta Davis, Anthony Joshua. The only difference is he has a big fucking mouth. To a fault. He talks way too much shit. That's it. That's it. That's the only difference. Come on, guys. Look at Gervonta Davis's last negotiation with Ryan Garcia, putting up those absurd catch weights and those weight restrictions, those rehydration clauses. That's dog shit. But guess what? He was the A-side. And so Ryan Garcia was like, you know what? I just want this damn fight. So I'm going to agree to it, even if it's going to be at my demise, I just want this fight. I think I can beat him anyway. Well, he was terribly wrong. Victory for Gervonta Davis. Guys, if you think Tyson Fury is worse than that, then you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Every A-side negotiates in that manner. Every massive draw and A-side negotiates in this manner. Oh, yes, he's putting roadblock after roadblock in front of where we just can't negotiate. Well, yeah, it would seem that way if you've got an inflated sense of worth, if you can't sell tickets. But after receiving a huge $40 million inflated purse from the Saudis, you probably think you have more leverage than you do. Guys, there's a reason why Usyk ran to the Saudis, because he can't make that kind of money anywhere else. Tyson Fury doesn't have that issue. He's going to make a ton of money with a fight that's virtually little to no challenge for him in Francis Ngannou. And it's a very smart, wise maneuver that all of you, if you were in Tyson Fury's team and you were in his position, would do exactly the same thing. Why would you risk the biggest money fight available in Alexander Usyk and the biggest fight in boxing, period, by taking on a dangerous top 10 guy like Frank Sanchez? You wouldn't. Be honest with yourself. You wouldn't. Okay? That's myth number one. We just blew that out of the fucking water. And once again, dude, if these fans are completely honest with themselves, right, they would understand this. Now, it's funny. A guy that I have a lot of respect for, and he's a ring announcer in South Texas. And whenever I do commentary, he gets the ring announcing gig, and his name is Christian Schmidt. He's a great guy. So Daniel Munoz is a guy who also reports on boxing, and he says, and he's a great guy. Love the guy. But once again, he's espousing ignorance, and I think, and he should know better, but he espouses this because it's become the flavor of the month to merely shit on Tyson Fury. So he quotes this. He made a post a couple days ago, 3 days ago on Facebook. He says, look, I'm a Tyson Fury fan, but when is this stuff going to stop? Hashtag Fury Ngannou. And Christian piled on once again because it's, quote unquote, the more insightful way of looking at this. He goes, yeah, it's so disappointing, man. I mean, what this sends a message like no other heavyweight in pro boxing is good enough, so they have to dip into MMA. It's so sad. No, that's not what it says. You dumb fucks. That's not what it says. Now here, I'm going to address the reality of this. I said, no, Christian. No, Christian, that's not what it says. What it really says is, hold on, let me pull this up so I can give you the entire spiel, right? No, what it really says is that boxing diehards are no longer financially supporting their supposed favorite pastime. So Tyson Fury is forced to fight someone who has a much larger mainstream and casual following in the interim. That's the reality, guys. I guarantee you, if there were more money in a fight with Filip Ergovic and more demand, or Frank Sanchez, guess what? That'd more than likely be happening. But guess what? It doesn't. Why do you think all of these heavyweight bitches are running to Saudi Arabia? Because there's no money anywhere else, not comparable to the Saudis and those huge, absurd inflated purses. And once again, he goes, yeah, you know what? You're right. This is depressing. And I said, yep. And this is going to be painfully evident, Christian, when Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz does a pile driver on the pay-per-view numbers of Spence versus Crawford, almost doubling their purchase total. And guys, unfortunately, that's really going to happen. Make no mistake about it. That's going to happen. That's almost a foregone conclusion unless the boxing diehards, which they won't, unless they decide to finally pay for one event that they've been asking for. Now, once again, guys, there's no excuse here. It's time to put up or shut up. Now, I know I'm not referring, you guys know I'm not referring to you guys. You guys are all great fans who are going to reward the network, the fighters, and the promoters for putting this fight on, albeit 3-4 years too late. But at least it's happening. This is a fight that everyone has been asking for. And so you guys are going to do the right thing. I know my extended War Week Radio family, you guys are going to do the right thing, and you're going to purchase this. And if you can't afford it, well, you're going to have a fight party, just like we always used to when we were younger and didn't have any money. Right? Have a fight party. Chip in. Everyone chip in $10. Hey, no problem. Piece of cake. Or you go reward the businesses who are showing this publicly, like Dave and Buster's guys. Dave and Buster's. I spoke to my brother, Chris Armitage, who's the GM at the Dave and Buster's in San Antonio. And that's where we have a lot of our public or, promotional events for a lot of our events and that sort of thing. We stage those at Dave and Buster's. We love that place. And so Chris, I said, hey, man, are you going to be showing the Spence Crawford fight? He goes, absolutely. I said, how much are you going to be charging? He goes, only $10. So, guys, there's no excuse. If you can't afford it, can't put together a big enough fight party, or just don't want those people in your house, go watch it at Dave & Buster's. Every major metropolitan area has one. And it's only $10. There is virtually no excuse not to pay for this fight. Right? And I guarantee you, if diehard fight fans still supported their beloved boxing financially, guess what? We probably wouldn't be seeing Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou. Once again, dispelling myth number 2. Okay? Let's go to myth number 3. Let's see. We already dispelled it's Tyson Fury's fault, man. And look, Tyson Fury has done everything he possibly could to fight another fighter in a big money event. Okay? Just like on G Funky's channel earlier this week, we heard a brilliant interview between with G Funky as well as his brother David Duenas, who does a great job reporting on the sport as well. Very knowledgeable. And they had a special guest, Terry Lane. Guys, if you haven't already seen it, go check it out. And so after the collapse of the Alexander Usyk negotiation, well, guess what? Bob Arum goes, I tell you what, be a huge money event and very historically significant is if we put together Tyson Fury versus Zhilei Zhang at Wembley. We got pay-per-view revenue streams from the UK, from America, as well as the entire country of China. Wow. And what happened? Was that Tyson Fury's fault that it didn't happen? No. If you want to point the finger at someone, well, you pointed at Joe Joyce because he ignorantly, and this is after, once again, go listen to the interview, guys, with G Funky and David Duenas, Terry Lane. He stated that, yeah, we even offered him over $1 million in step-aside money. And he turned it down because he wanted an immediate rematch, not wanting to relinquish his WBO interim belt, whatever the hell that means. And he goes, yeah, we were at the finish line. That was almost a done deal with Zhilei Zhang and Tyson Fury. That fight was going to happen. And then all of a sudden we get contacted by George and Frank Warren and Team Joe Joyce, saying that, nope, you can't do that fight. We're exercising our rights for an immediate rematch. Tell me how that's Tyson Fury's fault, how he's single-handedly holding up the heavyweight division. Tell me how that's his fault. And once again, guys, that is an awkward, skilled, hard-punching, heavyweight fighter. Oh, but he's ducking Usyk, I guess. Oh, no. Once again, I want to read this nonsense. And there's only one reason why Alexander Usyk is stating this nonsense. In the press conference announcing his fight with Daniel Dubois in Poland, right? I think it's in Wrocław, Poland, I think. Yeah. He said this nonsense to the media. And once again, only all too happy to oblige the media as well as the fans who seem to think it's a more intelligent way of looking at things to pile on with all of this ignorance. And Alexander Usyk just catering to his fan base, catering to the media, catering to the haters. He says this, quote, yeah, doesn't it seem strange that instead of choosing a top 10 guy, he's choosing someone who's never boxed before? Greedy belly is obviously afraid of me, end quote. And of course you get these channels and these idiots and these fans. Yeah, he's afraid. Okay. Dude, none of these fearless warriors are afraid of any of these guys. With that big Saudi money, yeah, you'd see any of them step in the ring with Godzilla if it meant making that life-changing money. Guys, let's just face it, that's nonsense. Yeah, look, guys, look, itty-bitty, you know the reality of this. Once they realized that they were only potentially going to make between 15 and 17 million, they really didn't want the fight, and you can't blame them. And I have no problem with that because that's a much smarter move. If you're going to be facing someone like Tyson Fury or Alexander Usyk, do it for as much as you can because, dude, that more than likely is going to be the toughest fight of your career. And here to there has the beat. Oh, I don't blame Joyce for that. Credit to him for wanting his revenge. Look, credit to him for believing in himself. And Joe Joyce is a great guy and a credit to any division, especially the heavyweights. He's a great guy. And there's a reason why fans love this guy. He's a great guy and he's great for the sport. I don't blame him for believing in himself, wanting to exact his revenge immediately. But come on, dude. Hold on, brother. Sorry about that. Son, I'm going to have to call you back. But come on. That's a special kind of stupid here to there if you're honest with yourself. Who's going to turn down over $1 million to do nothing in this business? Let's see. Go and possibly take another ass whooping by Zhilei Zhang, or get paid over $1 million just to allow Zhilei Zhang versus Tyson Fury to take place. In this business, where $1 million purses are very rare, $1 million paydays are very rare. And think about this. He doesn't have to give, now that step aside money, he doesn't have to give his trainer any of that. You don't have to give the WBC or the WBA any of that. You don't have to pay sanctioning fees on that. That's free money in this brutal ass-beating business. Why would you turn down getting over $1 million for doing nothing? Now, I respect his belief in himself, and I respect his willingness to step in the ring. Hey, we're all the beneficiaries of it. But that is, if you're honest with yourself, that is a special kind of stupid. Who on earth is going to do that? Would you do that? Let's see. Turn down $1 million just because I want to go in there and get my ass whooped again. Now, once again, Joe Joyce doesn't believe that. Hold on. Bruce, welcome to the show, sir. And I'm going to get to that right after I acknowledge my brother Sly Tendencies. Welcome to the show, sir. And thank you for the $5 super chat, my friend. He says, remember this. All the ones who criticized McGregor versus Mayweather, it wound up being the best-selling pay-per-view of all time. Well, second to Mayweather-Pacquiao. I heard Francis is getting $8 million. Brother Sly, we are saving the best for last, or at least I was. But let's go ahead and dive right into that, shall we? Let's see. Let's address this first, because, yeah, I do want to. That's the big hammer, guys, because I've heard a ton of ignorance calling Tyson Fury a bully. Oh, he's a scumbag and a bully. Bruce says, well, why do you think Joyce turned it down, Joe? Well, look, I was on the horn, and I remember vividly several weeks ago, probably over a month ago, before the second Zhang Joyce fight was announced. And he was, and once again, G Funky, brilliant interview, by the way. He was trying to get Terry Lane, the manager of Zhilei Zhang, on the show. And he goes, well, we're kind of in a touch and go situation, so we can't commit to a spot right now, but as soon as we're finished with this, we'll be more than happy to be on your awesome show. Right? And that's what kind of job G Funky does. He's always very professional, very respectful, and people love going on there. In fact, James Gogi was finally on his show, and he did a brilliant job, and he can't wait to go back because G Funky is not only knowledgeable, but he's very respectful, and he rolls out the red carpet. And it always results in a great interview. Okay, and so Joyce, and once again, I was talking to George Warren about trying to find out exactly what happened with the entire Usyk-Tyson Fury situation, right? How did it fall apart? What exactly happened? Before I go public with this and before I write anything about it, I need to find out. And I got the skinny and I got the truth that Team Usyk walked away from this because they wanted to make more money, and justifiably so. But once again, it's not Tyson Fury's fault. And I found out to be the truth. And then I asked about Joe Joyce and Tyson Fury and or Zhilei Zhang and Tyson Fury. How close is that to happening? And you go, well, there's a clause. There's a certain stipulation in their contract. He was talking about these. He kept on mentioning that Joe Joyce doesn't want to lose the opportunity to compete for his WBA title. And I'm like, well, he doesn't have a title. Apparently, they seem to think that the WBA interim title, or the WBO, my apologies. That's Daniel Dubois, my apologies. They seem to think that the WBO interim title is actually something. They seem to be thinking that it's a real title. No, it's not. It just means you're the mandatory challenger for Alexander Usyk, the real WBO champion. You morons. So that's why there was a stipulation in the contract that stated that Zhilei Zhang, it was well within his right that he could have an interim fight before the rematch. But if he lost to Tyson Fury, then Joe Joyce would have to fight Tyson Fury to get that WBO title or that WBO interim distinction. Not even a real fucking title, guys. And I was like, wait a minute. They're going to kibosh this entire historically significant heavyweight undertaking for a damn non-title? And so that's why, Bruce, hopefully that answers your question. It's nonsense. So he turned down over $1 million in step-aside money just for a non-title like the WBO interim belt. That is, once again, a special kind of stupid, guys. So let's go back to this, guys. And this is going to be the hammer. I can't stand this. And yes, you hit the nail right on the head. And you knew exactly why I was stating this. That Chael Sonnen, whoever the hell that guy is, former MMA fighter, or I don't know, he may be still active. I don't know. He's an idiot. And he says, yeah, he called Tyson Fury a bully and a scumbag. Tyson Fury is a bully and a scumbag for fighting Francis Ngannou and giving him the opportunity to make the biggest payday of his entire career, over $8 million. You want to look at a legitimate, a real-life bully and scumbag, look no further than Dana White. Guys, let's go back to 2010. Shall we? This is the true definition. And if you want me to have any sympathy for Francis Ngannou, because he gonna get his ass whooped, he sure is in October, but hey, he knows what he signed up for. And guess what? He's going to be compensated for it. Hey, fair game. And guys, make no mistake about this. No one coerced him to sign on the dotted line. No one put a gun to his head. He asked for this. He asked for this. He was in this after the Dillian White knockout. He was in the ring clamoring for that fight. He asked for this, guys. And he's going to be compensated, making by far the biggest payday of his career. And he couldn't make that kind of money in UFC. And why? Because Dana White is a real bully and a scumbag. This is a guy that only pays his talent 13% on average of the collectively now of the gross proceeds. That is the lowest of any major pastime. Compare that to boxing, guys. Collectively, the athletes in boxing make on average 80%. And that is the most of every major franchise. More than the NFL, more than the NBA, more than the MLB. And to further prove my point, guys, look, I hope Tyson Fury makes an example of this asshole. Now, once again, I don't mean to say that. Francis Ngannou, I'm sure, is a great guy. He seems like a very nice gentleman. But he gonna get his ass whooped. And dude, I'm not gonna have any sympathy for him or any MMA fan. And do you know why? Let's go back to 2010, shall we? In which a legend of boxing was treated like hot garbage, making Dana White a ton of money, and he was laughing his ass off to the bank. 2010, James Toney, a first ballot Hall of Famer, well, he should have been, and an all-time great, a legend of the sport, a gentleman who deserved much better treatment. Well, he wanted to fight Randy Couture. And instead of carrying him for several rounds like Tyson Fury undoubtedly will in October, he's not just going to come out and spark him with a two-piece down the middle. No, no, no. He understands, hey, man, you're making $8 million. That should be enough, but no. I'm going to carry you for a few rounds. For one, your fans. For two, your dignity and self-respect. You're a man just like I am. And I'm going to carry you for several rounds before I put you on your ass. Just like Floyd Mayweather did Conor McGregor. And make no mistake, guys, all of these idiotic MMA fans, oh man, he was more competitive with Floyd Mayweather than Canelo Alvarez was. Well, because Floyd wanted it that way. Guys, make no mistake about it, Floyd Mayweather could have easily sparked him out within a minute. Make no mistake about it, guys. That was the reality. He carried him for 10 rounds. Why do you think he placed a 10-round bet, knockout bet on himself before the fight? He carried him. And Tyson Fury is going to do something similar. Maybe not for that long, but he's going to carry him so this gentleman can walk away with not only his biggest payday, but with some dignity and self-respect. Was a legend in boxing, like James Toney treated the same way when he went and fought Randy Couture in 2010. Hell no. He was put in a submission hold in 20 seconds. And how much did he make for his efforts? Well, he received a $500,000 purse. That's it. And it all was given to the IRS. He was choked out in 20 seconds and walked away with nothing. And so you ask me if I have any sympathy for Francis Ngannou and the ass whooping that he's going to get. Hell no, brother. He's going to be treated much better than our legend, James Toney, was in 2010. Now, you want to talk about a bully and a scumbag? Guys, look no further than Dana White. That is the real scumbag and bully of the combat sporting world. He is a worthless piece of shit. And honestly, I would love to just throw a two-piece right in his face and then piss on him after I knocked his ass out. I would love to do that. Oh, and this is sad for the soul. Yes, Mercer whooped his ass. That was beautiful, wasn't it? Yeah, Sid UK's got the beat. Dana, the scumbag wife beater. Piece of mierda. So don't listen to any of this shit. Oh, he's a bully and a scumbag for fighting Francis Ngannou in his first boxing match. No. He's compensating him for it. He's getting greatly compensated, and I guarantee you Tyson Fury is going to carry him for a couple of rounds before he sparks his ass out. So once again, he can walk away with some dignity and self-respect, unlike our living legend, James Toney, who deserved much better treatment. Dana had no problem making an example of a legend like James Toney, did he? So fuck that guy. Fuck all the MMA fans who think, oh, he's being a bully. Kiss my ass. Whatever your name is, Chael Sonnen, whatever the hell your name is. You can kiss my ass. Tyson Fury's a bully and a scumbag. You're a bully and a scumbag, you big mouth piece of shit. See, this is what I tried to avoid, guys, by waiting until I was in a much better mood, because this would have been the entire segment, right? And this is why I saved this one for last at the tail end of the program, because I didn't want to start out just screaming and cussing the entire 60 minutes. Whoa! Oh, shit. Fucking wasp blew right by my head. My apologies, guys. Yeah, I can't stand those little predators. Those pieces of shit. Anyway, my apologies, guys. So, yeah, that's it. Have we answered all of the ignorance and nonsense floating around the internet right now concerning Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou? I hope, I think I did. I hope I did. Jews. Thank you for joining me, my friend. God bless you, brother. And I hope you can join us on Boxing Gems a little bit later. I'm going to be going on there and chopping it up with them as well. It's good to see you, my friend. Excuse me. Sly Tendency says, by the way, Joseph, just wanted to say that Chael lost every time he got a title fight. Also, he tested positive for steroids 3 times. Total piece of shit. Yes, he is. And once again, guys, you'll see this often throughout prize fighting. Guilty dog always barks the loudest. Now, once again, when you cast aspersions as much as a guy like Chael Dickhead, whatever the hell his name is, yeah, guilty dog barks the loudest. Kiss my ass, Chael Sonnen, whatever the hell your name is. Shh. Man, you wish you were as accomplished and as proficient in his discipline as Tyson Fury. Sid UK, thank you for sticking with us, brother, for an entire 60 minutes. He said, Joseph, I was going to say, stop saying kissing my ass. Some of these weirdos will take that as an invitation. Fruity bunch of people out there now, my brother. What would you recommend as an alternative, sir? Go fuck your mother? I don't want to drop any F-bombs unless I absolutely have to. So please, maybe actually throw out a healthy alternative to kiss my big brown ass. I'm open to anything, brother. So once again, recommend some kind of alternative to that. Because, yeah, I understand what you're saying, brother. This is snowflake world we're living in now. Chingao, dude. But I would like to think, though, anyone who listens to this show, yeah, they've got their head on straight. Once again, no prejudice. No, if that's what you're into, yeah, fine. Just take it somewhere else. You're listening to the wrong show then. Tycho TV. Oh, all is well, my friend. And this is the reason why I waited until today to join all of you and to salute to all of you guys. And once again, you guys are always sad for the soul. I love my Warwick Radio Extended family. I love all of you guys. And I always love chopping it up with all of you guys. I laugh a lot when I read some of your comments. And I'm always very proud of how knowledgeable all of you guys are. And I brag about this all the time, that my Warwick Radio Extended family is by far the most intelligent of any boxing community on YouTube. I brag about that all the time. I take great pride in that. So thank you, man, for joining me today. And yes, everything is much better. Thank you for your kind thoughts, brother. Chael ran for Senate. Oh, Chingao. What an idiot. Oh, geez. Well, what was he? Was he as bad as Herschel Walker? I'm sure he was. And look, I'm very conservative, but even I had to shake my head with some of the shit that came out of Herschel Walker's mouth. Good Lord. Thank you, Tycho. I appreciate you being here, brother. We're about to sign off, though. We just finished 60 minutes of dispelling all of the ignorant nonsense on the internet regarding Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou. Guys, please correct me, and please bring something up if I missed something. I think I got everything, though, right? All of the nonsense surrounding Tyson Fury and, oh, he's so bad for the heavyweight division and so bad for the sport, I wish he'd just retire. Oh, he's single-handedly holding up the heavyweight division. Sly, yes. And I proved that. And I wrote it in an article. Hold on, while I'm here, let me go pull it up, and I can tell you everything that happened. I wrote an editorial. Okay. Let me pull that up so I can reference that, and so you guys can read all about it. And that was my interview with George and Frank, right? Let me pull it up here. Let's see. I think it was. Oh, yeah, here it is. The truth behind failed Fury-Usyk negotiations. And I'll go put that on here so you guys can check it out. And, yeah, it was crazy because I got lambasted for this. Fans It was like staring at the sun for them. It was physically painful. All the guys that were carrying around this ignorant bullshit, right? So guys, have fun and pull that up in case you want to dispel any other ignorance. Have that in your arsenal. And once again, it was after speaking with George and Frank, yeah, it became very, very clear. And they were very factual about everything, the timeline, who did what. Yeah. And so I made sense of everything. I put it in article form for all of you guys. And what's shocking about that is that at the time, I think I was the only journalist to actually report the truth. Like, everyone was very quick on jumping the gun and just saying, oh, Tyson Fury should be ashamed of himself. This is the fight that we all want. Yeah, and look, when the truth came out, I was the only one who wrote something about it. Once again, guys, we don't shy away from the truth on this channel. I never have and never will. I've been doing this for over 20 years or almost 20 years. And I haven't done it up to this point, and I never will. Guys, make no mistake about this, and Sly has the beat. These guys are warriors. They're fearless. If it means making life-changing money, this is why I always tell you guys, ducking is a fan-driven concept that doesn't really exist within the business of boxing. Now, risk versus reward, well, that obviously does exist. But if these guys have the opportunity to make life-changing money, they would gladly step in the ring with King Kong to do it. These guys are fearless warriors, and this is why they consistently get our praise and an admiration. Because this is a hard fucking sport. And these guys deserve our dollars. They deserve our praise. Usyk, Fury, Joshua, all of them, Crawford, Spence, these guys are warriors. And this is why we watch. Make no mistake about this, guys. You're not going to get any favoritism on this channel. You're not going to hear that on this channel. Like, I will gladly size up Usyk and all of his attributes and tell you all day long what a brilliant, all-time great fighter this is. And he very well may be the baddest man on the planet. And I will gladly tell you that Tyson Fury is the same. And this is why we have to see and will see January of next year. This is why we will indeed see the biggest fight in boxing. And that's for all the marbles at heavyweight, Alexander Usyk versus Tyson Fury. Guys, make no mistake about this. It is going to happen. In the interim, just enjoy all the other fights. Enjoy Joshua versus White next month. Enjoy Joyce versus the Big Bang Zhang in September. Enjoy Fury versus Ngannou in October. Guys, because it's all going to come to a head in Saudi Arabia. Make no mistake about that, guys. This fight's going to happen. That's why I'm like, what's the big deal, guys? And so once again, I hope I answered all of the and dispelled all of the terrible myths, ignorance, and nonsense and noise floating around the internet right now regarding Tyson Fury in this fight. Guys, enjoy it all. But guys, remember, if you really want things to change and if you really want to be considered, once again, the real bosses of boxing, you have to purchase Crawford Spence. And if you can't afford it, have a fight party. And if you don't want all these people in your house or don't want to go over to someone else's house to watch the fight, go support one of the businesses that is showing it. Or one of the businesses that are showing it, right? And that's Dave & Buster's. Dave & Buster's, they're showing it, right? And it's only $10 from what I've just been told by the GM, my brother, Chris Armitage. So yeah, very affordable, guys. There's no excuse not to do it, right? Sid, tell the haters to kick rocks and stop smoking them. Yes, indeed. I would, but it really doesn't do any good now, does it? Because they have their favorite channels already that just espouse ignorance. And I'm going to remind you of this, guys. And you already know this. I want to thank you for being a part of our Warwick Radio Extended family. And I wish I could take credit for it. I wish I could say that it's for my charming and sparkling personality now, isn't it? No, it's because I've been in this business for 20 years. Everyone you listen to on this show is a member of this business, a working member of this business. James Gogi on Sunday, Rick Glazer now every Monday, Ronnie Shields every Tuesday. G Funky's a working beat writer in this business. James J.R. Bell is a beat writer in this business. They have been doing this for over a decade, both of them. Everyone on this channel is a working member of this business. And we're going to give it to you straight with no favoritism, no bullshit. You cannot get this anywhere else on YouTube. And guess what, guys? We do it all for you for absolutely nothing. We love you guys. And on that note, guys, I'm going to get ready to watch my brother Ronnie Shields. And guys, please tune in and please support my brother Ronnie. His 6'1" welterweight. Willie Jones is going to be taking on Quentin Randall. Should be starting very soon. And it's going to be the headliner in the preliminary bouts in Vegas at the Cosmopolitan. So I'm going to sign off so I can, support my brother Ronnie and his fighter Willie Jones. Guys, go check it out. God bless all of you guys. And thank you once again for being a big part of this channel always and being a valued, much appreciated member of our Warwick Radio Extended family. We love all of you guys. Guys, on behalf of everyone on this channel, on behalf of James Gogi, on behalf of Rick Glazer, on behalf of Ronnie Shields, G Funky, J.R. Bell, I'm Joseph Heron. We love you guys. Happy Saturday to all of you guys, and thank you for listening to Warwick Radio. Have a great evening, everybody.
FightSaga.com and Halftime Pizza proudly present War a Week Radio Chats with ring announcer and commentator Joseph Heron.